And then this morning, she
Big
told
Ed,
me
bro.
it's over.
Oh no.
I
It's
love
over.
Rose, and I don't want our relationship to end like this. She's really gone. She
Why? Why do they call him Big Ed when he
relationship
looks
to
like...
end like this. She's really gone.
Bro, what's big about this? Am I confused or... He doesn't look big to me.
She said she wanted to leave, but she didn't even say goodbye.
Oh my god. So much in love, man.
Big Ed was once one of the most talked about personalities on 90 Day Fiancé. He had the charm and the drama that made him unforgettable. For a while, he enjoyed fame, interviews, and a growing fan base. But as time went on, public attention eventually turned against him. What once seemed like a
Wait, this is his
fan
girlfriend?
base. But as time went on, public attention eventually turned against
Bro, she looks like his daughter. What the heck?
him. What once seemed like a path to stardom gradually became filled with criticism and personal challenges. Today, many people still ask what became of Big Ed after the spotlight faded. How did his story change so quickly? Join us as we discuss what happened to Big Ed.
I'm 54 years old. People know me as Big Ed. I am a professional photographer. Oh my God, right there.
God damn, a professional photographer.
Right there, beautiful. I actually gave myself the name Big Ed. Perfect. Because I have a huge personality and it makes me feel tall.
Born in 1965 in San Diego, California, Edward Allen Brown grew up far from fame and public attention. His early years were shaped by family responsibilities and the challenge of living with Klippel-Feil syndrome, a condition that affects the bones in the neck. The condition gave him a distinctive appearance, and he often leaned on humor to protect himself from judgment. As an adult, he worked a range of jobs to support himself. He found steady income in photography and later handled interior design projects in San Diego. On the personal side of things, his first marriage ended in divorce, and he took responsibility for the mistakes that contributed to that breakup. Since his divorce, he has been supporting his daughter, Tiffany, who
Well, his daughter is hot.
remains the most important part of his life. For years, Big Ed lived quietly from one day to the next, earning enough to manage his bills and keep his home. There were no cameras and no fame. Yet he wanted love and a second chance at a life that felt bigger than what he had known. So when the opportunity to join 90 Day Fiancé presented itself, he believed it could be the fresh start he had waited for. However, that decision would take him into the spotlight and change his life in ways he never expected. In February 2020, Big Ed made his television debut on the 4th season of 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 days. He entered the show with the hope of building a fresh future after years of living under the radar
Bro, what is this? I don't know, it just doesn't fit him.
and a difficult past. From the moment he made his appearance, he stood out. Viewers had never seen anyone quite like him on the show, and that curiosity spread like wildfire. Big Ed's first storyline on the show focused on his trip to the Philippines to meet Rosemarie Vega, the young woman he hoped to marry.
His Asian daughter, he forgot about. Imagine that as a plot twist.
At first, things between Ed and Rose seemed rosy. Their online conversations had built excitement, and meeting in person brought a sense of possibility. Ed arrived with gifts and a desire to connect, and Rose welcomed him with the same hope that their future together would work.
Yeah, their future to get the green card.
It was just like an out-of-body experience for me. Because for 3 months, I FaceTime with her, and now I'm standing in front of her, and I really want to kiss Rose. I really do.
However, that hope did not last long. As they spent more time together, their differences became harder to ignore. Their conversations began to reveal how little they understood each other, expectations clashed, and the balance between them began to fall apart.
You think I want your money, not you. You give me feel a little bit pressure. I think you not love me. I'm done.
The excitement from their first meeting faded, replaced by frustration and doubt that neither of them could ignore. One of the first red flags came from Ed himself. He later admitted that he handled certain moments badly and that his own actions helped damage the relationship. Among those moments, the way he raised questions about Rose's past stood out.
Bro, is it that humid? Oh my god. That's crazy humid.
During one dinner scene, he asked Rose to take a medical test. He said he wanted to know more about her history and suggested that taking the test would help him feel safe and confident with her.
So there's a test that you can take.
Yeah, you test me?
No, yeah, it's a test for I don't know if you understand it. It's STD, which is I think it's a blood test.
In theory, asking a partner to get tested before becoming intimate is a responsible step. Many viewers understood that there is nothing wrong with wanting both people in a relationship to know their health status. The
It's
problem
normal.
was not the idea itself, but
That's
the way
super
Ed
normal.
expressed it. On camera, it came across as one-sided and judgmental. He framed the request as something he needed Rose to do for him, without first offering to take the same step with her in a clear and equal way. The timing and tone made it worse. Ed brought up the test while they were eating, and the conversation quickly turned cold. Rose looked hurt and confused. She later said that his words made her feel as if he did not trust her and saw her as unclean. The scene showed her trying to explain that his question hit a nerve, not because of the medical test itself, but because of what it implied about her character. Her reaction was emotional and honest, and many viewers sided with her.
Willing to take that test? I'll never ask you another question about your past.
Why is she so surprised? She can be carrying something dangerous and he just wants to know. Big Ed is the man.
I'm disappointed.
Fans discussed the scene widely after it aired. Some viewers said that if Ed had approached the subject differently, it might have been received in another way. They pointed out that he could have simply said, "I want us both to get tested so that we can both feel safe and comfortable." Instead, the way he phrased it made it sound as if Rose alone was under suspicion. It seemed as if he wanted proof that she was not dirty, as some critics put it, while he placed himself above that same scrutiny. Later interviews confirmed that even Ed understood he had made a mistake. He said that, looking back, he should have taken a test himself first and then shown Rose the results before asking her to do the same. He admitted that he did not handle the situation well. By the time he realized how his words had come across, the damage in the relationship was already done, and the scene had already shaped many viewers' opinions of him. But that was not the only concern people had. The large age gap between Ed and Rose added to the problem. He was in his 50s and she was in her early 20s, raising a young child on her own. The show presented him as someone who wanted
Wait, did he say that she have a child? God damn.
to guide and change parts of her life, while she often looked overwhelmed by his comments and demands. Many fans felt that the way he spoke to her did not show the respect and care that should exist in a healthy partnership. As the season continued, Rose appeared more and more frustrated with the way Ed questioned her past, commented on personal matters, and put conditions on their future. Trust, which is essential in any relationship, seemed to shrink instead of grow. She began to push back more strongly, telling him that his behavior hurt her and that she felt judged rather than loved. The atmosphere between them turned heavier with each disagreement. Eventually, Rose reached her limit. She decided that the relationship could not continue and chose to walk away. Viewers saw her decision as an act of self-respect. Many felt that she was right to step out of a situation that made her feel small, even if it meant losing the chance to move to the United States with Ed. After the breakup, there were brief rumors that the two might reconcile. Some fans wondered if time apart would soften their hearts and lead them back to each other. That speculation grew until they appeared together again in a virtual reunion on 90 Day Bears All in 2021. During that reunion, Ed apologized to Rose and she said she had moved on and no longer held grudges toward him. The conversation showed that they are cool with each other, but it also made it clear that their romantic relationship was over.
This guy had more girlfriends than me. Although I'm more handsome than him.
The idea of getting back together was put to rest. Getting back into the dating world was not easy for Ed after his breakup with Rose. He later explained that he tried to move on by signing up for 6 different dating websites. Instead of finding a stable relationship, he said he was catfished more than 15 times. He would show up to meet
15?
women who looked nothing like their photos or who only wanted to talk about the show. Each experience left him more discouraged, but he still wanted to believe that a new relationship was possible. Luck finally shone on him when he joined the spin-off 90 Day The Single Life, which premiered in February 2021. On that series, he introduced viewers to a new woman in his life, Liz Woods, a restaurant manager from San Diego. Their connection began without the long-distance element that had marked his first love story. For a moment, it seemed as if he had finally found someone to live happily ever after with. They went on dates and tried to build a day-to-day routine. Ed spoke about wanting to change, and Liz tried to give the relationship a real chance. Their scenes gave the impression of a fresh start. Many viewers hoped that this time, with someone in his own country, he might avoid repeating the mistakes he made with Rose. But the problems did not stay hidden for long. One of the first issues came from inside his own family. Ed's daughter Tiffany did not support the relationship. He said openly that his daughter generally did not approve of his dating choices and struggled with seeing him with someone new. Also, Liz herself soon began to raise concerns. They moved quickly as a couple, and Ed pushed for more commitment, including asking her to move in with him. The idea of sharing a home added pressure she did not fully welcome. Their disagreements grew around how fast the relationship was moving and how much control Ed seemed to want. At the same time, fans watching at home were forming their own opinions. Online discussions became harsh, with some viewers calling Ed and Liz one of the worst or most uncomfortable couples to watch in the franchise. Things worsened when trust issues came into play. During an episode of 90 Day Fiancé Tell-All, Liz revealed that she had caught Ed on an Asian dating app while they were still together. She said her mother found a screenshot and they created a fake account to confirm that he was active on the site shortly after Liz had left his house. She also learned that he had been in contact with Rose again. For Liz, this confirmed that Ed liked to keep looking for attention elsewhere even while claiming to be committed.
Has Ed messaged you or spoken to you the last couple months?
Moments of truth.
Yeah.
Wait, she changed a lot here. She looked like a totally
You
different
the
person.
last couple months?
Oh my god, that's not the one we saw before. Oh my god, the makeup effect is crazy. Holy shit. She's like a whole different person.
Yeah. Ed always asking me for FaceTime. He want to video call with him to FaceTime.
For many couples, that kind of betrayal would have been the end. But for Ed and Liz, it was another break in a cycle that still was not over. Despite everything, they reunited. They found a way back to each other and decided to try again. And this time around, their reconciliation led to a major step. Ed proposed and Liz accepted. Their engagement became part of their storyline across several
They got
seasons
married, holy
as they
shit.
planned a future together and tried to build a shared life. However, one of the most dramatic events of their lives came after their engagement party, when Ed accused Liz of having a romantic past with a female co-worker. The fight ended with Liz throwing her engagement ring into a bush. Later, Ed called her dumb for doing it. The scene showed Big Ed's regular pattern that viewers had already noticed: quick accusations, harsh words, and breakups that happened in moments of anger instead of careful thought, but even with that, they reconciled again. They continued to film, attended counseling on another spin-off, and even moved from California to Arkansas to start over. Throughout this period, reports and episodes referred to a long chain of breakups and makeups, with some sources noting that they had split more than a dozen times. Each time they seemed finished, they found a way back until their final season together showed that the pattern could not continue forever. After years of conflict, therapy, and second chances, everything collapsed over something as simple as dinner. The incident centered on Ed's taco pasta being too spicy for Liz's young daughter, which led to a fierce argument between Ed and Liz in front of his family. The fight grew intense, and he later said it made him realize that their problems would never truly be resolved. Without telling Liz directly, he canceled their wedding, informed their officiant, and left. She discovered the cancellation through a text message. The decision shocked both Liz and viewers, not only because of the reason, but also because of the way he chose to end it. In the episodes that followed, Ed said that Liz was not the right match for him and that he did not want to spend his life in constant conflict. Liz in turn spoke about how much she had given up to be with him and how painful it was to be left without a direct conversation. By the time Season 8 reached its final scenes, their split was confirmed. There was no hint of another reconciliation. For many viewers, the way Ed handled the ending confirmed what they had seen across his earlier relationships: a repeating pattern of control, mistrust, and sudden withdrawal when things became difficult. However, as his personal life unraveled on screen, Ed's reality TV career brought him significant income. Alongside his pay for appearing across multiple seasons, he became one of the most active cast members on Cameo. According to reliable sources, he recorded
What's his
more
Cameo?
than 3,000 personalized videos on the platform, earning at least $183,000 from that alone. Other reports and estimates suggested that at his peak, his yearly earnings from Cameo and similar fan requests could reach several $100,000, depending on volume and pricing. Additionally, Ed also used his fame to build a wider online presence. His social media accounts gathered hundreds of thousands of followers. He launched his own merchandise line under the "This is Big Ed" brand, selling clothing and novelty items tied to his image. However, Ed's fame also marked the beginning of a slow downfall. In April 2020, a woman named Lorelai Clemens posted a TikTok video accusing him of harassment from their time working together years earlier. She later spoke in more detail in interviews, explaining that they had worked together for about 9 months and that the behavior started from their very first meeting. According to her, what began as mentoring and work guidance crossed lines. She said that Ed used their work relationship to get closer to her, then used that access in ways that left long-term damage. Lorelai described how he invited her out under the guise of teaching her more about the business, including dinners and one-on-one time outside the office. In her words, the mentoring offer was not just professional help. She said that he used his position as a more experienced colleague to make her feel that she owed him time and attention and that saying no would hurt her career. Over time, she claimed the comments, touching, and pressure escalated. She later said that the stress and one particular incident were serious enough that she ended up in the hospital and spent years dealing with the emotional and physical impact. The controversy deepened when another woman came forward online with her own story. In a post shared through fan pages, a dancer named Chelsea claimed that she had been hired to perform for Ed for $100.
Bro, how many women are in
She
his
said that
life?
while she was working, he acted inappropriately around her repeatedly and that she had to physically push him away and tell him to stop. She also alleged that he asked her to be his sugar baby, and that when she requested a tip, he gave her $50 and then asked for $30 back. With two women sharing disturbing experiences, the discussion around Big Ed shifted from jokes and memes to serious questions about his behavior. Many viewers said that they could no longer see him as a harmless, awkward reality star. Fans online accused him of using his position and fame to push limits with women, both before and after the show. After his final split with Liz in the end of another season, reports claimed that his contract with the franchise was set to expire around late 2024, and many viewers believed that his run as a main face of the show was winding down. At the same time, engagement on some of his posts dropped, and a growing number of comments called him washed up, manipulative, or desperate for attention. Then, in September 2024, he tried something that grabbed headlines again. Ed traveled to Plantation, Florida for a paid appearance at Capriotti's sandwich shop, where he was hired to host a meet and greet with fans. During that weekend, he met 29-year-old fan Portia Raymond. Within 24 hours, he had taken her out to dinner, fashioned a makeshift ring out of a paperclip, and proposed in the middle of the restaurant while other diners watched. She said yes, and photos of Ed kneeling with the paperclip ring quickly spread across news sites and social media.
Proposed on first
And as you would guess,
date?
the stunt worked. For a brief moment, everyone was talking about Big Ed again, but the attention came with heavy criticism. Many viewers called the engagement irresponsible and staged, and some accused him of dragging another woman into chaos for the sake of publicity. Within days, the whirlwind romance collapsed. In an interview, Ed revealed that he had called off the engagement, saying that the proposal had been impulsive and that he now wanted to remain single.
Love is a crazy thing, and, I did something that was impulsive. I asked this girl to marry me, and after considering, it's too soon, and it's not really what I want, obviously.
He wished Portia well, but the message confirmed what many people already believed, that the entire event had been more about him than about her. But Big Ed wasn't done yet. After the stunt with Portia, he kept looking for ways to stay relevant. Ed started to rebuild his life around other ventures. He got his real estate license in Arkansas and joined a brokerage, later posting that he had closed $1 million worth of deals in his first year. At the same time, reports pointed out that if his real estate career were truly booming, he might not be pushing so hard to stay on television and launch side projects. The picture that emerged was of someone trying many different things at once, hoping that at least one path would stick. But Big Ed wasn't ready to let go yet. After traveling to Argentina and buying a vineyard, he announced his own label, Big Ed Malbec. In interviews, he called Malbec his favorite wine and said he had always wanted a winery of his own. He told followers that he hoped to see his bottles in hundreds of Walmart stores and posted photos of the label on Instagram. Shortly after promoting the wine, Ed posted another update, this time about a new show he said he was working on, separate from 90 Day Fiancé. He talked about the different paths his life had taken and hinted that cameras might soon follow him again, this time on his own terms. So far, though, nothing he has teased has turned into a clear, stable project that matches the reach he once had on TLC. Ultimately, it is safe to say Big Ed's fame has faded, but he keeps trying to hold on to the last pieces of it through real estate, wine, and yet another promised show.
He has a huge belly. Holy shit.
After years of accusations, failed relationships, and publicity stunts, what remains is a man who once turned reality TV into a fortune and is now doing everything he can to avoid slipping out of view.
Let's see the comments. He's very psychologically abusive. Maybe he'll get a show on Netflix. Come on, guys. Liz deserves better. Rose too. I'm glad she left. The fact that Big Ed can get a date and I can't. Set up the bits, not really. They are paid to be a date. That's a lot. I wanna read that. This is all like years old. Dude probably got a micro peen. You know. 4 women said yes. Esse cara é narcisista. This guy is a narcissist. Stop with the negative. Oh my god, shit is great. I confronted drug addicts in Seattle. Holy shit.